What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are once again discussing some Detroit Lions. And in today's video, we are basically recapping the entire training camp experience. So let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here. And today, man, we're back and discussing some Lions training camp. This could possibly be the last training camp video that we do, because in a little bit over 24 hours, the Lions will cut down to their final 53/55 man roster, and we'll start preparing for that Bears game. 9 days until the Lions kick off. 9 days until the Detroit Lions take on the Chicago Bears. We are in the single digits, baby. You can hold it up on your hand. Well, I guess you could do that yesterday too, but it's cooler now. And it's only 6 days until the NFL season starts. Less than a week until the NFL is back. I'm so excited. I know you guys are too. Now, I wanted to do one last training camp video. There may be takeaways today depending on if we get anything, but we may not. I wanted to do at least one more training camp video. But I also wanted to kind of sum up all training camp for each player, like how each player did. But I don't want to have like a 50-minute video where I'm talking about every single player. I'm like, that would be just boring. So how could I do this? Well, I thought of a little game. And my initial title was Winners, Losers, and Neutrals. That doesn't sound right. That sounds really messed up. So it's kind of like the stock report. You know, we did it at the end of each week. We would do a stock report at the end of each week. Who did well in the week, who didn't do well in the week, and who kind of stayed the same, right? That's kind of what we did. And we picked out like the outstanding players. Like not outstanding, but the players that would kind of pop off. Like the player that really separate himself or the player that really struggled. Like that's kind of the thing that we would do. So I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's pull up the Lions' current 80-man roster. And we're going to play a little game here. And we're going to decide whether the player will go in the winners category from training camp, the losers category from training camp, and also the neutral category from training camp. I have to have a neutral category because I was thinking I can't do every player if there's no neutral category, because some of these people didn't do bad, or maybe we just didn't hear about them enough. So for me personally, I can't put them in the losers category if they had some up and downs. Maybe they go in the neutral category. Expectations are super, super important. If you had high expectations coming in and you didn't play to those high expectations, then maybe you're in the losers category. Keep in mind, guys, I'm really reaching for some of these on the losers ones, and I don't like calling it losers. Let's call it the stock down report. I'm really reaching for some of the players that had a down stock throughout training camp, because I think for the most part we did pretty darn good. I think everybody did pretty good, and you could take away a lot of good things from each player. But if there is none in the down side of things, then it's kind of lame. I'm just saying up, up, up. It's like, okay, yeah, this is terrible. So that's what we're going to be doing, man. So as you guys can see on the screen, every player is here. We're going to go through them. Some players I know more about from camp, some I really don't know about. So we're going to have some fun, man. We're just going to be placing them into categories, and I guess this is how we're going to cap off training camp. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought it'd be the best idea. Something a little fun, something quick that we could do, but also touch on each player, okay? So let's hop right into it, man. Let's start off with the quarterback position. Matthew Stafford coming in first here. I wouldn't necessarily say he lost. He didn't lose anything during training camp. The guy was a beast. He did throw a few interceptions. Matthew Stafford has literally the highest expectations of probably any player on this team. I'm going to put him in the neutral category. It's not like he did anything wrong. That just means, yeah, he stayed the same. Because what he showed us last year is that literally he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. His greatness in training camp is neutral to him, but that's great to everybody else. So for me, I'm going to keep him in the neutral category here, but he was just still doing his thing in training camp. Then we have Chase Daniel. I'm going to put Chase Daniel in the stock down category. And the reason I do that isn't necessarily that he's been bad on the field. I think he's actually been pretty good. I'm going to put him in the down because I think him not knowing the playbook, being kind of new, a short off season, still kind of trying to learn everything. He may not be the number 2 right away. Yeah, I think he will be, but he may not be. So I'm going to put him in the stock down for now. Next up, we have David Blau, the third-string quarterback. I'm going to put him in a stock up because David Blau has seemingly take that next step, okay? He stepped into a huge role last year. Probably should not have been in that role, but it seems like he's starting to get much better this offseason, starting to really improve. And I think that quarterback room with those veterans is really, really helping him. He's also helping out Chase Daniel with the playbook, things like that. And I've heard David Blau recently has had some really good practice days, so I'm going to put him in the stock up category. Moving on to the running back position, we have DeAndre Swift. I don't want to put him in the up because I don't think we can. But we saw so many flashes early, I think you could. However, him being limited in practice, I'm going to put him in the neutral. I'm going to put him in neutral, okay? He's been really limited to missing some practice, so that definitely hurts. But when we did see him, man, he was so dominant in the passing game. And even out of the backfield, it's like, okay, I'm going to put him in neutral. Kerryon Johnson is next. I'm going to put Kerryon Johnson in the up category. I think with some injuries and to play people out a little bit in training camp, very limited, Kerryon Johnson got an opportunity to really show himself. And he started off with the right knee brace, but he continued to go out there and work every single day. And he just looks quicker. He looks explosive. And heck, the last time I seen Kerryon Johnson out there, man, he was popping people. Kerryon looks ready to go. He's catching passes down the field. He's catching bombs. It's like, who is this guy? He's in the up category. Ty Johnson, another guy in the up category, okay? His stock has went up a little bit because Ty Johnson has been one of those healthy backups, and he's another guy that started to take advantage of that opportunity. I think Ty Johnson can make the team. I think probably right now, Ty Johnson has a little bit of an advantage over Bo Scarborough just because of the health factor. I haven't heard tons about Ty Johnson, but I know the potential is there with that guy. Jason Huntley, very explosive, very fast. He can catch the ball. Huntley's also in the up category. I think he started off a little slow, but he's in the up category now. Another player that's gotten some opportunities, got like Bo and DeAndre Swift limited. I'm going to put him in the up category. He started to do really, really well in training camp, and always the same thing. The dude is so fast and quick, it's ridiculous. Well, he's got to be in the up category, man. He's going to get a role next season. I don't know how big it'll be, but he'll get a role all over the field like McKissick did. And his explosiveness, just, you can't teach it. Jason Kamada, another up here. Jason Kamada could possibly be the starting fullback this season. I actually kind of think he will be. So I have Jason Kamada in the up category because Nick Bawden has been placed on IR. So if Nick Bawden was here, which he's not because he's on IR, he'd be in the down category because Jason Kamada may have just earned himself a starting spot in the offense. That's cool for him. Bill Scarborough, I hate to say it, but I'm going to put him in the down category. Man, he just missed so much time. Now, he has started to come back. He's been limited. I just haven't really heard, like, anything about him. And the only thing I have heard is that he's missed practice. So I'm going to put him in the down category, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's been bad. It's just been injuries. Jonathan Williams, I'm going to put him in neutral. Haven't heard too much about him since we brought him in, to be honest with you. Haven't heard much about him at all. I mean, he's been out there, but we haven't heard, like, anything. So I'm just going to put him in a neutral. Same thing with Wes Hills. Again, I haven't really heard much about him. So some of these players, I just really don't know what happened for training camp. So I'll just put him in neutral, and let's rock with it like that. That's why we need a neutral category. Tight ends, TJ Hawkinson. It's very difficult to do this after last year's training camp. But the guy's going up. TJ Hawkinson, man, oh my goodness. Dude, if we didn't have this many weapons, this is a guy that you could bank on to have a gigantic season for fantasy football. But since we have so many wide receivers and running backs and these guys and other tight ends, he's going to be inconsistent with this play because he's going to be inconsistent with the targets, I believe. But when he does get chances, he's going to make the most of them. The guy, he has all the intangibles and all the tools to be uncoverable. And now that confidence is building and he's healthy, gosh, watch out for TJ Hawkinson. Jesse James, I think I got to put him in the down category. However, I definitely got a little more confident after hearing his interview and his presser, I guess you would call it, saying that, yeah, last year was bad, and I feel like I'm much improved, and I've talked to Darrell Bevel, so that's very uplifting. I'm going to put him in the down category, though, still. I just haven't heard enough. When I have, it's not been good. Matt Sokol, I'm going to put him in neutral. Haven't heard much about him at all training camp. Isaac Nauta, I'm going to put him in the up. Isaac Nauta recently, to me, has come on very lately, and he's been a big weapon. And you can just see it in the clips that the Detroit Lions post. And Hunter Bryant will go in the down category because Hunter Bryant has literally not been there in a very long time. So, unfortunately for Hunter Bryant, he's got to go in the down. There's all I could put him in. Receivers, we got 9 of them right now. Kenny Golladay, I'll put him at neutral. Kenny Galladay's been a monster, but he's Kenny G. What do you expect? He's about to get paid, so yes, he's going to be a neutral. Now, Marvin Jones, I'm actually going to put in the up category because Marvin has been so good at receiver. I'm saying to myself, hold up, are we sure Kenny Galladay's the best receiver? I know it sounds crazy, but a healthy Marvin Jones, oh, this dude is going to be nasty. Danny Amendola, I'm going to put him in neutral. I like what he's done. You know, he's missed some practices, and when he's missed those practices, he's been like a coach on the field, been a good mentor. Neutral. Nothing crazy. Nothing that's like, whoa, watch out for him. Stuff that you would kind of expect out of him being a leader and making some big grabs. That's Danny Amendola. Quintez Cephas, definitely in the up category. I mean, without a doubt, Quintez Cephas has been one of the most exciting players through training camp. And you just never know with later round picks. Well, this guy has proved that he was the right pick. Marvin Hall, I think I'm going to go neutral, but he's still deep ball Hall, man. He's still catching deep passes. Jamal Agnew, of course, up category. I mean, I don't think anybody thought that he would transition this fast and it would be this easy for him. It's like, dude, he can catch the football. He just looks like a natural receiver out there, and he's so explosive. It's like if he looks like a natural receiver, he can run the routes, he can understand the defense, which he was a part of, so that says he helps him with like, you know, recognizing where the defensive help is, things like that, and coverage, and he can catch the football, and he's confident. My goodness, man, this receiver group's nasty. Tom Kennedy, haven't heard a lot about him. I'm going to throw him in neutral. Chris Lacey, I'll actually put slightly in the up category. When I've seen him, when I've heard about him, he's done some nice things. Victor Bolden, I think you could go up. Again, I'll go neutral, though, because I haven't heard enough. Moving on to the offensive line, we have Taylor Decker, definitely the up category. The dude just got an extension, all right? The dude just got a 6-year deal. Obviously, he's in the up category. He's living life. Big V, I'm going to go neutral. Had some good days, had some bad days. Struggled some days in pass protection. He's been really good in run blocking. Kind of what you expected out of him. Definitely needs to improve. Still some things to work on, but Big V is the starting right tackle, which was the expectation, so that's good. Terrell Crosby, I'm going to put him in neutral. Same thing with Matt Nelson. Dan Skipper, I'll put him in neutral because he missed last practice. I don't think it's anything serious. So those 3 guys really haven't heard a lot about. I'm just being honest here. Moving on to the guards, Joe Dahl. I think you could make a case to say he'd be in the up category because he didn't lose his starting job. I'm going to go neutral, but he didn't lose his starting job. I mean, it seems like he's going to be the starter day one. Frank Ragnow, neutral. I mean, the expectations were he was our best offensive lineman, and that's what he's been so far. Jonah Jackson, definitely up. The guy's a rookie. He stepped in. He's been a starter like since day one of training camp, and he hasn't looked back. He sure hasn't been perfect, all right? He has not been perfect in run blocking or pass protection. Now, he's actually been better, I think, in run blocking than many people expect him to be. Me, personally, he's struggled in pass protection sometimes against blitzes, but I got to go up here because he's taking over that role. I mean, it's impressive. Logan Stenberg, I'm going to go neutral. I didn't know if he'd start right away. I was hoping he would because I thought that'd be really cool, you know, if he was ready for that. But I'm not surprised he's not. All right, he's a 4th-round pick for a reason. He wasn't completely polished, but we know he's a mauler. And once he gains his confidence and continues to work and continues to get comfortable with his offense, down the road he could start. And I think he will start down the road. But I'm going to put him in neutral for now. Kenny Wiggins, same thing. I'm going to put him in neutral. I think you could put Kenny Wiggins in down if you wanted to because, you know, he hasn't really taken over a starting role. I'm going to put him in neutral, though, because I'm okay with him being, you know, as in the backup group. I think that's a good backup to have. Bo Benshaw, same thing, neutral, same thing with Ode Ibushi. Moving on to the defensive line. Wow, 12 players. Whoa, okay. Bringing a lot of guys, aren't we? Trey Flowers, I'm going to put him in, I'm going to put him neutral. I think maybe you could put him in the down, but I don't know. I'm going to put him in neutral. He's had a really tough task against Taylor Decker, and that just really speaks to how well Taylor Decker's been doing, not necessarily how bad Trey Flowers has been, because Trey Flowers has been doing fine. I mean, I haven't heard anything about bad things about Trey Flowers. I haven't heard a lot about him, honestly, but I know Taylor Decker is doing very well, so I think that really speaks to how well Taylor Decker was doing. Then, obviously, the contract backs that up. Romeo Okora, definitely in the up category. Okora, you came up with the dang interception. I mean, how are you not in the up category? He's got a couple sacks. He's explosive. Romeo Okora kind of looking at like his 2018 self. Hopefully, he can get some of those sacks, man. He wasn't bad last year. He just didn't get the sack totals. Deshaun Hand was injured, okay, came back. I'll put him in neutral. Just haven't heard a lot about him. Nick Williams, definitely up. No doubt, definitely up. Nick Williams has been really, really good. Picked up where he left off from last season. Pass rush moves have been incredible. He's getting a lot of pressure from the interior, which we missed last season. So definitely the up category. Danny Shelton, I'll go neutral. I was expecting him to be great. I said he was our second best free agent signing at one point. I thought he was our best. I'll go neutral. I was expecting him to be really good and great for this defense. I think he starts, so that's great. But again, that's not really exceeding the expectations I had coming in. Nick Williams, I didn't really have super high expectations. I didn't know what I was going to get. Same thing kind of with Deshaun Hand, right? I thought, you know, I had some pretty high expectations if he was healthy. So I think for a guy like Danny Shelton, I'm going to keep it neutral. Kevin Strong, I'll keep it neutral. John Pennicini, probably neutral. Because John Pennicini, man, I haven't heard a lot about those two guys either. But again, you weren't expecting them to take over a starting role or anything like that right away. We'll see, I guess, when roster cuts happen. Will Clark, Kevin Wilkins, Albert Huggins, our new players that we brought in, these guys that we signed, I haven't heard a dang thing about them since we brought them in. But I guess you could throw them all in the up category because, heck, they got signed to a roster. So shout out to you guys. Hopefully you can make the team. Olive Sagapolu, okay, he was here, then he was gone, now he's back. So I take that however you want to take it. I'll throw it neutral. Same thing with Frank Harron. Haven't heard much at all. Linebackers, Jamie Collins. I'm going to go neutral here. He's been good. He's been great. He made some big plays. He's also had an interception. But then again, he's Jamie Collins, and you paid him $30 million for 3 years, and that's your expectations. My expectations were he's probably the best player on his defense right now, so he's neutral. Jared Davis, I'm going to go up. Look, I haven't seen tons in pass coverage, and that's really what I'm concerned about with him is just really his awareness in pass coverage. But what he does well is he's explosive, he's fast, he's a run stopper. All right, he'll stop you in the tracks. That's what he does, and I've seen him play both the inside and the outside. So I'm going to go up. Christian Jones, haven't heard anything about him. I'll go neutral. Jelani Tavai, had a pick early. Since then, haven't really heard anything about him. I'll go neutral. Julian Okwara's interesting because he had a very slow start. He started to pick it up, though, and he's starting to show that explosiveness off the edge. So I'll go neutral because he's had some up and downs. But Julian Okwara, that's the expectations. He wasn't great at stopping the run. Wasn't coming out of college great at stopping the run. But what he did do well is get to the quarterback. And he was very explosive, very athletic off the edge, and he continues to develop those pass rush moves. I'll put him in neutral because very slow start, but he's definitely picked it up as of late. Reggie Ragland, I'm going to go up. Ragland had a pick 6. Ragland's been a leader. Ragland has been a leader. Ragland has been a guy that's, I feel like Ragland's been kind of one of those guys that everybody's kind of feeding off of, right? They're kind of taking all that energy that Ragland's kind of just throwing at him, and it's like, yes, man, I'm feeling the energy from Reggie Ragland. I'm not even on the dang field. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, definitely up. Oh, my goodness, definitely up. Reeves-Maybin's going to have a way bigger role than I think anybody expected. Well, at least me. I didn't expect him to have this bigger role. I think he's going to have a pretty solid role defensively next season and still be a great special teams player like he is. Austin Bryant got to be in the down category. The dude's been injured. I don't think he's even participated in training camp. I can't put him anywhere but down. It's super unfortunate because I have high expectations for him. Hopefully he can get healthy. Anthony Pittman, haven't heard a lot about. I'll go neutral. Same thing with Elijah Lee. Cornerbacks, we have Jeff Okudah. I think you could put him in the down category if you wanted because it depends where your expectations were right away. It's difficult, the weird offseason, so keep that in mind. I mean, it wasn't like he's coming into a normal offseason. It's like, oh yeah, he struggled, so down category. With the weird circumstances, I don't want to do that, so I'll put him in neutral. Slow start, very slow start, picking up as of late, showing some confidence, showing that, hey, I can make some plays, getting some interceptions. Even if it's on a free play, it's still some interceptions, getting some PBUs, and getting beat. You know what? That's how football is, man. You're going to get beat, you're going to make some plays. That's what Trufant said, and you're also good against Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay, Quintus Cephas, Jamal Agnew. There's no drop-off. I'm going to put him in the neutral category. Desmond Trufant, same, neutral. Justin Coleman, neutral. Amani Oruwariye, definitely up. Amani Oruwariye shot through the roof. Amani might have the biggest jump of any player on here. I'm not going to lie. Amani has been that good so far through training camp. The dude, it looks like he's going to start. If he started right now, he'd be a starter. He'd be the 1 or 2 cornerback. And he's earned it. He's earned it up to this point. He's just been that great. I have no doubt to say he's going to make the team. Tony McRae, I'm also going to put Tony McRae in the up category. Tony McRae has done some good things, especially in pass coverage. He seemed more confident in the back end, which is great because he hasn't had a huge role there in the past. And we know what he can give to us on special teams already. He's familiar with the special teams coach. I feel like his confidence is here, and it's going up. So I'm gonna give him in the up category. Now he did have to deal with a little bit of a setback with an injury, but I think he's okay. So I'll go up category. Darryl Roberts. I think you could probably put Darryl Roberts in a down category. Haven't heard a lot about him. Misses some practices. I don't know. Make of that one what you want. D version, I'm going to go neutral. I haven't heard a lot. Michael Ford dealt with a little bit of injury. That's really all we heard. So neutral to down there. Safeties. Tracy Walker. I'll go neutral because I have high expectations. I think you could put him in up. I have high expectations for Tracy Walker. So I'm not going to say that he's like really shocked me. But I knew he was going to be great this year. You know, you can just see. If you go watch his film from last year, he's not perfect, but you can just tell the guy's going to be great. You can just tell he is. Duron Harmon, I'll go neutral. Will Harris, I think I'll go down by a little bit because I think Will Harris is being thrown into a tough position here. All right, I think it's fair to say neutral. I would say neutral. Most people would say down. Will Harris is in a really tough spot here. They're throwing him in there with the ones because they're trying to get him ready for week 1 because he's going to be the starter for the first 3 weeks when Jamar Curse isn't there. Not necessarily the starter, but he'll be out there in a lot of their 3 safety sets, which they run all the time, especially on their dime packages and their nickel formations. He's going to be out there all the time. He was last year. I think he's going to play a little bit different role. We're going to see a much better Will Harris on the field than what we've heard so far. I can guarantee you that. What you've heard so far, if you've heard and he's done some good. I mean, there are good plays out there. So if you just watch highlights, they've always been bad. There's good plays that you can go find him in as well. He struggled. He struggled against Hockenson, but who's not going to struggle against Hockenson? Tracy Walker struggled against Hockenson because he's a mismatch. Hockenson should be great. He should be great, and he can be. So you got to just understand that. It's not necessarily a shot at Will Harris. It's more that Hockenson should be great this year. So for me, I'm going to give Will Harris, he seemingly got better. He seemingly started to pick it up. I'd put him in neutral. Some people put him in down. I'll put him in neutral. He's going to look much better on the field because his role is going to fit him a lot more like he did in Boston College than necessarily what we saw from him last season and what we saw from him so far in training camp thrown in there with the ones. So I'm actually going back and editing this, and I don't know how it happened, but somehow, some way, I skipped over 2 players. I skipped over CJ Moore and Miles Killebrew. Maybe because their names were in blue or something. I don't know. I just completely went right past him. CJ Moore, clearly in the up category. The one guy that Braden Coombs actually called out was CJ Moore when he was asked about players that maybe have stood out so far. He picked out one player, and it was CJ Moore. He was super impressed with him on the field and off the field, the respect, and his ability to just do whatever. I mean, the respect that he has for coaches to the point where you can just say, hey, go play this position, go do this. Doesn't complain, goes out there, does his job, and he's impressed so far. Miles Killebrew, haven't heard a ton about him. Now, I've seen him in a press conference, which he looks like a really nice veteran. I mean, I feel like this guy is going to make the team more and more. However, I did predict him not to make the team. So I'm going to put him in neutral. CJ Moore definitely up. Don't know how I forgot those 2. On Curse, he's been good. I mean, the guy's been good in practice, and I love the energy he's giving off, but he's suspended for the first 3 games. Bobby Price, haven't heard really anything about that guy. Neither Jalen Elliott either. So I'll go neutral with those 2. And then specialist, Jack Fox, I'm going to go up. I'm going to put Jack Fox in the up category and Aaron Sipos probably in the down one because I feel like recently Jack Fox has seemingly had a little bit of a leg up in that competition. It started off where I think it was really close, and I think it's still close, but I think Jack Fox is maybe separating himself a little bit, starting to lean to the point that he might make the team instead. Matt Prater, I'm going to keep the same. Dom Muhlbach, I think you could honestly put in the down one because could he really lose his job to Steve Mortel? Like, are we serious? Does he really have the advantage over Dom Muhlbach? What? Could you imagine? I don't know. That's crazy. So those are just my thoughts, man. What do you guys think? Again, not all the players we've heard a lot about this training camp, so I don't think it was fair to, necessarily put them up and down. And I think injuries for the most part. If you've been injured for a long time, that's really going to hurt your chances. So we'll see. I mean, final roster cuts tomorrow by 4 p.m., I believe. So hey, it's going to start happening. We got 80 players. We need to cut 27 of them in just a little over 24 hours, okay? So that's about one player every hour. Think about that. There's going to be some cuts coming. We're about to find out a lot of things. I'll keep you guys updated. That's going to be fun. But obviously, you know what? If you're cut, I hate it. I hate to see players get cut. But if you do get cut, wishing you guys the best. Hopefully you go land somewhere else, or you land back with us down the road. Wish you the best, though, okay? Go out there, ball out, as long as you're not playing us, all right? Let me know your thoughts, comments below, man. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.